Hello everyone, welcome to Versatile Fun Designs. Today I have the LEGO City race car for this year. Oh wait a minute, this set is actually from 2 years ago. This is the LEGO City race car for 2024. Why did LEGO make two of the same set? Almost the same set. They're both 4+, they're both called race car, they're both part of LEGO City. They both have two minifigures, one male, one female. So why did LEGO go through the trouble of re-releasing what is essentially the same set with some minor variations? Let's find out by doing the builds. Of course, I'll do the builds as usual, without instructions. If you are a child who's watching this, please make sure to use the push tabs or be very, very careful with a knife. If you're on the younger side, just ask an adult to do it for you, and if you're older, please be very, very, very careful. Put this aside for now. We'll focus on the first set. It's set number 60322. It came out in 2022. It has 46 pieces. We get all the contents in this bag, as well as this large chassis piece here. We do have instructions. It says here bag 1, but there is no numbered bag. So this might have been planned to be like part of a series and they changed their mind at the last minute, or it's just a mistake from the people who printed the instructions, but there's no numbered bag here. I don't think most people will be confused with this because it's a small set and everything is right here anyway. Apparently the torsos are identical. We have these two minifigures, we'll look at them at more detail in the end. For now, let us stand here and watch us build the rest of the build. And we're done with the build for this one. There's only this one extra piece. Here are the side builds. Here are the minifigures. I'll actually take a closer look at them at the very end to compare with the ones from the other set. But let's just put the driver, and either of these could be the driver. I'll just pick this guy at random. So he sits pretty low thanks to this special chassis piece. And this is what this one looks like from all angles. Yeah, it's a simple build. You can build it just from the back of the box. This really helps. And you don't need any 3D view, you don't need any instructions for this one. I think even a 4-year-old, well, they might need a little bit of help figuring out some of the details, but overall they should be able to put most of it together without the instructions, with either no help or very little help. I think I might have this on backwards, the helmet. Yeah, that's better. Alright, moving on to the other set, so just set this one aside. So this one is from 2024, it's 60399, has 56 pieces, so 10 more. Here's what it looks like on the back. Again, very similar to the one from 2 years prior. Again, please be very careful when opening these boxes with a knife. You do not want to hurt yourself. This time we got two unnumbered bags, the same chassis piece, another instruction manual. I guess we can look at the instructions at the very end, once we are done with the builds. So yeah, let's get straight to it. Here are the figures for this set. We'll look at them in more detail later on. Alright, so we are done with this race car as well. Looks very similar to the one from 2 years ago. Let's do a detailed comparison. Let's put in the driver, but first she needs to wear a helmet. Yeah, and of course you can swap the heads around in either set to make the male or the female be the driver versus the spectator. It's always possible. Yeah, so here's what they look like side to side, from the front, at a different angle, on the top. See, the wheelbase is exactly the same. And here's a look from the back as well, and also from under. So yeah, let's see which one is a completely unscientific test of which one is faster. This one appears to be faster than the newer one in green. Let's try that again. I mean, it's not perfectly scientific, but this one, pushing it feels a little bit faster than the other one. This one has these motors, or one motor with lots of exhaust at the rear, and this printed piece here representing the console. In the newer one, they got rid of that in favor of just air. Not very clear how that works. Is it compressed air? Is it electric? Is it hydrogen? I'm not too sure, but apparently this is the more modern way of doing things. Also here we get two brake lights at the end. Here we only get one in the middle. I guess that's something. And by the way, for both of these sets, they're all prints, no stickers. Here it's number 8, here it's number 40. The print quality is better on the newer one, whereas here it's a bit washed out, it's a bit faded. I do prefer the newer one in that respect. They both have the same spoiler piece here. I mean, there's just so many similarities because they're two cars that are almost exactly the same. Taking a look at these side builds, the older one has, well, both of them have the exact same trophy. Old versus new, it's just the colors are a little bit different. The older one has these pieces, which I suppose are useful, and the newer one trades those in favor of a camera that can be used by a minifigure as shown on the front of the box. So that's a little bit different. Yeah, that's what that camera looks like from all angles. Speaking of the minifigures, let's take a look at them from all angles. So I will put them as usual on some sort of plate. I'll use this one for the new minifigures. This plate does not come with any of the sets, I'm just using it for my personal collection. And I'll put the older two minifigures on this plate right here. So here's a look at all 4 minifigures. Oops, the 2 old ones are these 2 on the left, the 2 newer ones are on the right. So we both have one male, one female in each case. They look pretty standard. Let's look at them from the back. So the old ones have this 8 pattern, same torso for both of them. So they're both like race car drivers or employees at the racetrack. Whereas here we got one of them is a civilian or a spectator in the new one. Also the new one has this air printing on the torso, which is kind of unique. And the new one also offers a hairpiece so that whenever the person is not racing, they can basically live their regular life. And this hairpiece is just good to have in general because you can always use it for other figures. Of course, you can mix and match. Obviously, move this head here and this head here. So I do think the newer one offers a little bit more flexibility because here both of them are either racing or somehow maintaining the vehicle. Here, one of them is a spectator. They have a camera, so it's a little bit more versatile in terms of what you can do with it, but otherwise not a very big change. Looking at both of these sets, I don't see... Maybe the newer one is slightly better prints, slightly better minifigures. I wouldn't say it would have been worth it for LEGO to completely retire this old set, remove it from store shelves, and bring a set that's just like it a few short months afterwards, because this one is not too bad. If you already have this one, the orange race car, you probably don't need the green race car, unless you're collecting literally every single race car that LEGO has ever made. And in terms of the build quality, I mean, this is okay. It gets the job done. It's primarily a children's toy, and it's not really a Ultimate Collector Series kind of thing, so we have to judge it for what it is. I do like these sets, even though I'm not the target audience. I'm not like a 4, well, everyone's 4+, almost everyone. But this is clearly intended for young kids. But I found value in building these sets without the instructions. They went together very quickly, and it just goes to show you that you could do really cool things with LEGO just with a few pieces. Now, to be fair, these are pretty specialized, but I could see every single one of these pieces being used maybe in a different context, like a modular building or a spaceship. Of course, you'd have to get the theme right, you'd have to include the lime green in a tasteful way, but like this could totally become part of a mock. This large chassis piece here, I know that many people don't like it, they want to build it brick by brick. I understand that, but for a 4+ set, I think it's passable. So yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say about the sets themselves. Now moving on to the instructions. For 4+ sets, I often critique the instructions for including too many steps. So for the 60322 from 2 years ago, you get, let's see, They don't really number the steps, but it's basically 47 pages for 46 pieces, so it's approximately 1 piece per page, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, they're doing 2 pieces here, but they're also wasting an entire page just to tell you, put this piece in your left hand, put this piece in your right hand, and then put them here. I think even for 4-year-olds, this whole hand thing is completely unnecessary. Yeah, and just put this thing in one of your hands and put it here. I personally don't see the point. LEGO used to make instructions for decades and decades without having this hands business, so I don't really know why they insist on that now. It just makes this thing twice as large as it needs to be. In terms of the looks of the instructions, I like the older one better because here it's more themed, like it's more related to the theme. It's Lego City, you have the blue. It's not super detailed, but at least it's related to the theme. Here is this generic white background that LEGO is using on all the sets. It's pretty boring, to be honest. You get to see this no matter what it's Lego City, Lego Creator, Lego Icons, and I would like to see them go back to the more illustrative manuals. Once again, here we have the hands, same story as before. Unfortunately, we do get some ads for the latest city sets as of the time of this recording. So once you're done with this set, you can get all of these. But when they do include a reference to this set itself, it's interesting to see. I usually notice that they don't do that in most of their instruction manuals. Here, all the part list is on one page, just by having more parts than the other one. But again, we're talking about 56 pieces for 56 steps, so it's basically exactly 2 pieces per step, which I still think is too low. I think even young kids are able to handle more than that. Maybe their parents will need to show them a little bit of help, like here's what the instructions mean, and here's how to build a set, or better yet, just give your kid this bag, as long as they're old enough that they're not going to eat the pieces, but just give them the bag and like, hey, build this, figure it out, and I'm sure that's going to be a useful exercise for a lot of kids. So for 4+ kids, but especially for older kids, they should be able to build both of these instructions. This one's a little bit more difficult just because of the various angles of the box, but it's still perfectly doable. So yeah, that's all I have to say about these sets. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!